Okay, so the Wall Street Journal released a poll from Friday showing that in a hypothetical 2024 matchup between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, you ready for this? Dun, da, da, da. They're tied 45% to 45%. This is perhaps the most anticlimactic poll that I've ever heard. However, I do think it tells us something very important. Think about the state of our nation right now. Think about how much you are paying to fill up your gas tank. Think about the fact that we are on the brink of a NATO-Russia war, which means a U.S.-Russia war, thanks to Joe Biden not putting sanctions on the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. Think about the fact that the radical left is trying to indoctrinate your kindergartner with transgenderism, trying to teach your high schooler about critical race theory and the 1619 Project, that you are canceled, essentially, if you're a conservative. Think about that men are losing due process thanks to the Me Too movement, that we are facing Marxism and the Great Reset. Think about the state of our nation. I'm not trying to be hyperbolic. I'm not trying to be apocalyptic. I'm just saying, this is the reality of what we're facing right now. How is it possible that after 1 year of Joe Biden, where not one aspect of our lives has been improved by Joe Biden, there is no category where we are better off now than we were before Joe Biden, right? That's how we the people always rank or rate how presidents do. Like, yeah, we can talk about the political policies, but ultimately it comes down to the question, are we better off now than we were, under Obama when Trump was president? We ask, like, are we better off under Trump? Are we better off under Obama? Are we better off under Biden? 1 year later, we are not better off in any way, shape, or form under Biden yet. In a matchup between Biden and Trump, it's still only 45 to 45. Like, how is this not a blow-away victory for Donald Trump? How is Biden getting a higher percentage of hypothetical votes in this poll than he gets in his approval rating? I mean, by double digits. Well, the reason for this is something that we as conservatives should think about in a very serious way. In fact, I actually think that I should do a full episode on the strategy Republicans should implement in 2024, going in after the midterms, going into 2024, and how early is too early, or when is the appropriate time to start talking about who our 2024 nominee should be. The state of the world might be very different in 2024. Is it too early to talk about it? I don't think it is. I think that we should start talking about this, and we should ask ourselves a very difficult question. The difficult question being, should President Trump be the 2024 nominee, or should it be someone else? And we shouldn't be tribalist when we ask this question. We should actually be very sharky when we ask this question, because we want to win the presidency. We want to win the White House in 2024. And we want to make sure that we have the best person, not only to win the election, but the best person who will be governing. And it's a difficult question for a lot of us to ask, because a lot of us support President Trump. I mean, I personally thought he was a very good president. I disagreed with how he handled COVID, but I thought the first 3 years he did a very good job. I think he has a singular understanding of the deep state, and having been a target of the deep state, he understands it very well. I think, however, that the emotional reaction that the mainstream media and the left have successfully engendered against Trump, just the very idea of Trump, whether it's his face, whether it's his name, the emotional reaction to Trump overrides people's rational thinking. So people could be like, wow, I'm paying $5 or $6 or $7 for my gas prices right now. Yet I would still vote for Biden, who did this, versus President Trump, because, I'd rather pay a little bit extra for gas than have President Trump in office. That's very irrational thinking. That's very emotional, fear-driven, hate-driven thinking. And the mainstream media and the Democrats, unfortunately, have been very successful in indoctrinating a large number of people in our country to think like this. So, as I said, this should be an entirely different episode where we address each of the hard questions about 2024 and who is the most likely to win, not only the campaign, but who's the most likely to be the best president. That being said, we're at a point right now where the American people are on the side of the policies that Republicans are pushing. Even President Trump, at his rally this past week, promised to ban critical race theory at the federal level from schools and from the federal government, if not just in 2024, but if Republicans win back Congress in 2022. And that's great. That's great. You can contrast that, by the way, with Beto O'Rourke, who's trying to run for governor of Texas, which basically means the Democrats have given up. He actually came out against critical race theory as well. Surprise, surprise. Take a listen to this.
You and I probably are both on the same page as well. We don't see CRT being taught in our schools right now. It's a course that is taught in law school. No, I don't think it should be taught in our schools.
Now, here's the thing. I do not believe Beto O'Rourke. He is a liar. He is an opportunist. He obviously is not opposed to critical race theory. If you listen to every other thing he's ever said, he is just saying this because he thinks it's what the American people want to hear, because it is what the American people want to hear. This is what they want to hear. They just, I mean, we want to hear it from a sincere person who actually has the intention of eradicating critical race theory, not from, you know, a lying, embarrassing politician like Beto O'Rourke, who's just maybe the most pathetic politician in the country here. The point of this is contrast. As we look into 2024, contrast what we have right now with what we had under President Trump and what we could have in 2024. And what I mean by this is Trevor Noah, who is maybe the least funny comedian out there. I'm not sure how he actually earned the title of comedian. I've never seen a bit that he's done that has actually made me laugh and not cringe. And I'm not saying that as someone like, I can laugh at a liberal comedian. I can even laugh at a comedian who's making fun of conservatives if it's funny. Trevor Noah is just objectively an unfunny person. He is not funny. He did say something true, though, which I will give him credit for. It wasn't funny, but it was true about the fact that Saudi Arabia, when Biden called Saudi Arabia to ask them about, you know, increasing our oil consumption of Saudi Arabia oil as we are going off Russian oil, they didn't answer Biden's call. And this is what Trevor Noah had to say about it. Take a listen.
There's no denying that Saudi Arabia isn't playing ball with Joe Biden. And you know what? You can say what you want, but this would have never happened to Donald Trump. Never. No one was ever ignoring Donald Trump's calls. Yeah, because if you ignored Donald Trump's calls, you didn't know how he would respond. Maybe he'd send an angry tweet, or maybe he'd just like ban your country from everything. You don't know. That's why I bet in these situations, Biden actually wishes that he could hire Trump to step in as President Wildcard. You know, just keep everyone on their toes. Because if Trump was calling, you best believe the UAE, they'll be racing to pick up the phone. Oh, Mr. Trump, we're here, hello? Too late, Ahmed. You made me wait 2 rings. We're bombing the UAE and the UFC, just in case.
Can you imagine? By the way, the White House denies this happened, to which I say, yeah, right. Yeah, right. I do not believe that. I do not believe the White House here.